Online School of English by Alex Rubinoff.
Hello guys, I hope you are having a wonderful week, and today we are going to talk about the conditionals, the zero, the first and the second conditionals. So why do we need the conditionals at all, and what is it? That's the kind of sentences when we talk about some imaginary or possible situation, which is a condition, and then we have a result of that condition, so some consequence or the result of this condition. So we have two parts, the if part and the main clause. The if clause is the condition, and the main clause shows the result, what happens if something else happens. So we have a few types of them. They're called the zero conditional, the first conditional, the second conditional, also the third conditional, and mixed conditionals. Today we are going to talk about the zero, the first and the second conditional. The third and mixed, we are going to talk about them later. Alright, so let's start with zero conditional. What is it? That's about things which are generally true. They always happen the way they do, and nothing else can change. And we have two parts, the if clause and the result. So if we do something, something else happens. Present simple in both parts. So for instance, if you heat water, it boils. Yeah, the temperature rises and then the water boils. When the sun goes down, it gets dark. Like naturally, it gets dark when the sun goes down. If babies are hungry, they cry. That's the logical consequence of that. Snakes bite if they are scared. So we shouldn't tease the snakes because they bite if they are scared. So if we have one situation, we have a result of this situation, and it doesn't matter when, because that is about facts which are generally true. Like 1,000 years ago, snakes bite when they are scared, and in 1,000 years the situation stays the same because it is generally a general fact, let's say.
If they're shooting at you, they're bad. If they're shooting at you, they're bad. If they're shooting at you, they're bad.
Then please keep in mind that if is a synonym to when. When or if we can replace one with another and nothing changes. So for instance, if the snow falls, it is usually not that cold. Yeah, cold, but not that cold. Yeah. When the snow falls, it is usually not that cold. So nothing changes. We simply replace if with when. Also, we may use unless. Unless means if not. Unless, for instance, the plants die unless you water them. So you should water the plants. Yeah. The plants die unless we do something else. For instance, when you fly a budget airline, you have to pay for your drinks and snacks. When you fly and if you fly a budget airline, you have to do something else. You have to pay for your drinks, like a natural consequence. The next one, unless you need more space, which means if you don't need more space. A small car is big enough for one person. So a small car is absolutely okay. Well, this is a nice example of a small car. But unless you need more space, that's okay. The next one. A very important note is that the if clause can take a variety of present forms. For instance, present continuous, present perfect. You can use anything, almost anything, which means present. But in the main clause, the result, there can only be the present simple or imperative. So present simple or do something, the imperative, I want you to do that.
Ray, if you see Bobby, tell him I love him. Ray, if you see Bobby, tell him I love him. Ray, if you see Bobby, tell him I love him.
Okay.
For instance, if unemployment is rising, people tend to stay in their present jobs. So they tend to work as where they work, and they don't want to change their job. If unemployment is rising in the process, present continuous. When you go on holiday, take plenty of sun cream. Unless you take plenty of sun cream, you will get burned. When I finished an article, I always ask Kate to read it through. So here is when I have a result. When I have finished an article, I always ask Kate to read it through and check for spelling or some mistakes or anything. So when you have done something, what do you usually do in this situation? You may think about that, because we may use present perfect as a present form here as well. Let's practice. Please complete the sentences using the zero conditional. When I am tired, what do you usually do? When you have finished your work, what do you usually do? What do you usually feel? Unless you are busy, what can you do with your friends? Please click to pause the video and write your own sentences about it. All right, are you ready? Have you written everything? Gorgeous. Then see you in the next part, where we're going to talk about the first conditional and the second conditional. See you.